Megan is with us in Bakersfield, California. Hi, Megan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Okay, so one, I just have like a pretty weird personality, so I might get all crazy here. But we're on the tail end of baby step 2. We only have like $3,600 to pay on one bill.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband is finishing the last of his prerequisites to start nursing school, and we plan on just bankrolling that the whole way through with help from parents, and we don't want to take out loans.
Good.
So I am more of like a future planner. Like, I don't like to think just like, where are we going to be in 5 years? Like, I'm thinking more about the mortgage when my husband graduates, because we'll have a much larger income.
Mm-hmm.
And I have heard a lot about like prepaid interest or prepaid principal, and they don't really understand how that works. Like, I was watching The Pill Method, and then he was talking about taking out loans, and I was like, this guy's a nut. So I just stopped listening to it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I was at, was how do principal payments work?
Yeah, it makes it sound like there's some kind of a magic to it. There's not any magic to it at all. You take the interest rate of your mortgage, and you multiply it, or divide it by 12, okay? And you multiply that times the outstanding balance that month. That is the interest charged that month. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of your payment goes towards principal. And so let's just make up some easy numbers. Let's say 6% interest rate, which would be let's use 3% interest rate, okay? That's current. That's 0.25%, 0.25 per month. If you divide 3% by 12, okay? You'll get a 0.25% per month. And so if you had a $100,000 loan, just to make the numbers real round, just because it's a good lesson to walk through, you'd say 0.025 is your, oops, I did that. It's 0.0025. Still not doing that right. $100,000. I put too many things in the calculator one time. 0.0025. There we go. Okay, there we go. $250. I should be able to do that in my head. All right. Anyway, $250 of your payment that month, if you have a $100,000 balance at 3%, would go towards interest, right?
Okay.
Now, let's say your payment was $350. It wouldn't be. Let's say it's $450, okay?
Okay.
And then, so $250 went to interest. The other $200 would pay the $100,000 down to $99,800. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the next month, your interest is calculated on $98,800 at a quarter. And so instead of being $250, I'm going to make up a number. Let's say it's $247. Okay? But your payment is still $400. But a little bit less went to interest, so a little bit more goes to principal. So instead of paying $200 towards principal the next month, in our example, it might be $203. You follow me?
Okay, so if
every time you pay principal, that makes your next payment, more of it go towards principal, less towards interest.
So if, like, say, for example, I was gifted $1,000 for, I don't know, just being amazing, and we went and put that on the principal.
Yes.
Would that change our payment the next month?
No, your payment stays the same. It changes the amount of interest would go down because you're going to be charged interest on $1,000 less. You're not paying interest on that $1,000 anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so it would cause your payment would stay exactly the same, but more of your payment would go towards principal.
Oh, okay.
Because you don't have as high an interest charge because you don't have as high a balance. Your interest is calculated on the balance each month. You pay your interest rate only on what's outstanding. So if you throw $10,000 at a mortgage, you don't pay interest the next month on that $10,000.
Oh.
It saves you the interest on that $10,000. Your payment stays the same, so a lot more of your payment would then go towards principal the following month than it did before. So that's why sometimes people say, "Oh, I don't want to. I've already paid all the interest, so I don't want to pay my mortgage off because I've already paid all the interest up front. No, you didn't. You only pay interest on what's outstanding. And once you've paid on a mortgage for years and years and years and you've paid the principal down, your payment is still the same. Much, much more of your payment goes towards principal after 15 years in a 30-year mortgage than in the 28th year of a 30-year mortgage.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that they should teach in high school because nobody taught me this.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, good news is 36% of the high schools in America now carry a Dave Ramsey high school curriculum called Foundations in Personal Finance. So we've got a little over a third of them, but we got the other 2/3 to go. So, but you're exactly right. That's called a simple interest calculation that I just walked through with you. But that's how a mortgage is calculated. Have you ever seen the tables printed out on a mortgage payment where it shows the columns and it shows your payment and it shows how much is going to interest and how much is going to principal? And if you slide your finger down the page, you're like, wow, a whole lot more after paying 120 payments, paying 10 years, a whole lot more of it's going towards principal than interest. You follow me?
Yeah.
If you've ever seen that. So what happens is, if you want to do this easy without having to do the raw math, if you pay $10,000 on your balance, you just slide your finger down the outstanding balance, and you're on payment number 37 when you did it, then you pay $10,000, then you're going to drop down. It might look more like payment number 61 is going to be your next payment. So you're just knocking out chunks of payments. It's going to be calculated like payment 61, wherever the balance is closest to the new balance after you paid your $10,000 down. So
that's awesome. That really helps a lot. I was super worried about it because I really want to get it paid off within like 10 years after he graduates.
Yeah, that's why throwing money at the mortgage early and often when you get to baby step 6 is so important. But it's also why you don't need to do more than once a month, because they only recalculate once a month. The payments are monthly payments. And so if you send 4 payments in a month, it doesn't change the math at all. Now, they all go towards principal, but you might as well just send one check. And so I've seen these goobs with these supposed systems that they've got and all this BS where you just start sending payments and you want to send one a week. And no, it doesn't work because the calculation is done once a month. It is 1/12 of the annual interest rate per month. It is not a daily or a weekly calculation on mortgages. Now, some credit cards are calculated daily, and some are calculated twice or 3 times or 4 times a month. So they're a little different. But anything that's calculated once a month, paying on it more than once a month does not change the math. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, it's good to talk to you. Thank you for calling in. That's a good question.